There's
Push
no
button.
more. Yeah.
Push the button. Damn it, woman, push the button. Oh, sorry, we're live.
I pushed the button. Don't beat me, Massa. I'm good. Hey, everybody.
Facebook just told me we're live. There we go.
Thank you. Oh, good. I got to find it on mine. And hey, guess what? PayPal sent me another message.
Oh,
yeah, I'm still in my
circle. Continues.
I am in my endless loop with this purchase I still haven't gotten, and they're like, well, if indeed you did not receive the message, the package, then we can escalate. I'm like, yeah, I already did that. It's like
escalated, mofo.
Yeah, we've escalated and escalated. Oh, there's Jess already. Oh my goodness. Hi, Jess.
Hi, Jess.
5 in 5 seconds. 4.
Guess what? Neither one of them are muted.
2, 1. Log Talk Radio.
Good evening, everybody. We have actually 2 guests with us right now, and me and Mama Dia are here. We are going to play a short little video telling you about Cassie Pigg, her book, what she does. That is our guest, and then our surprise little guest, my daughter, is here with us as well. They'll be with us as soon as the video ends, so we'll be right back.
It was a surprise. You weren't supposed to tell nobody. Shh. She can't keep a secret.
Good evening, everybody. I am Gina B, and the place to be is here with me and Mama D every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the Fox Den. Tonight, our guest is Cassie Pigg. She recently published Mummy's Got a Tramp Stamp, which has already climbed to the bestseller lists in a few categories on Amazon. And she created a helpful site for moms. She says she's no one special, just a mom with a tramp stamp that survived a battle with severe postpartum anxiety. And this is not a how-to guide to motherhood. This is her true story. Now, suicide is the second leading cause of mortality postpartum, and this is unacceptable. She believes that she survived to tell her story. In 2018, there were around 3.79 million live births in the United States alone. Advocacy groups say that 1 in 5 women suffer from postpartum depression or anxiety. That's 758,000 women per year in the U.S. that can personally relate to her story. She says she's not a freaky martyr, trying to spout out all these scary statistics. Rather, she's just a mom that survived the BS and wants to help other moms that may be struggling, because this is a problem. After the birth of her daughter, she experienced severe postpartum anxiety. At the time, she didn't even know that postpartum depression existed. She had heard about it, but she didn't think it was a real thing. Why? Because no one talks about it. Society expects all new mothers to be blissfully happy after giving birth, but this is not always the case. Our body's just been ripped open. Our hormones immediately start conspiring against us. We are not okay postpartum, and that's okay. But she wants to change that. She wants to get in the trenches with you. She feels we need to do some real talking about the real BS that comes along with being a mom. Now, she's doing the best she can as a mom, and yes, that is okay. You can learn more about her and her book at mommysgotatrampstamp.com. And welcome, Cassie, to the Fox Den. And boom, we're all here. Hi, Jess. Oh, hold on a second. All right, we're all
okay. I did. Don't touch it.
No touch.
No touching.
Hello.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Cassie, and thanks for coming on, Jess. I appreciate it, you being a new mom and all. Now, Cassie, in that video, well, actually, you know what I have to say first? If you guys are offended by swearing, this might not be the book. No. Okay, just because, I mean, honest to God, reading this book, I was 18 pages in, and I got in touch with Mom, and I said, Mom, if she has a swear jar for a college fund for this child, they're going to Ivy League.
Okay, let's be real. She was going to Ivy League at like 2 months
Yep.
with my swear jar, so it's fine.
That's good. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's the thing. If you're offended by the language, then by all means don't get the book. But if it doesn't bother you, the book is fantastic. It is funny. It covers all the mom topics, and it's straight from a real person. So I could relate. It brought back a lot of memories for me. But I did
She
relate.
can relate
a
for all
lot.
the cuss words. Never mind.
Yeah, but that too. I have to be bleeped all the time. Bleep, beep, 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 beep.
Actually, I think what's
Well,
really important is like
whenever-
a lot of the thoughts that you had, like were basically like taking the words right out of my mouth. If I could say them out loud. I read like certain parts of what you had said, and could totally relate.
Mm-hmm.
A lot there that being a new mom you don't really want to say, especially like people. Right now my son's like throwing stuff as we speak, so
Well, and I think that's a good point, Jess, because that's part of the reason why I wrote the book, and that's part of the problem is a lot of moms don't feel comfortable talking about these things. I know for me, I kind of started talking about it with some of my friends, and like several of my good friends were like, "Oh yeah, I went through something similar to that," and I'm like, why didn't you do anything? Why didn't you want me? But I think, that's part of the stigma around it is people are kind of scared to talk about it.
Yeah.
definitely.
Plus, I think, and because it's a woman's issue, you know what I mean? And it's what women go through. If men went through this, you damn straight it would be high on the priority list of something to be said, done, or all kinds of therapy around the subject. But because it's a woman, it gets put on the back
Cheap
burner.
therapy too.
Yeah.
I mean, I was crazy at one morning, like 3:00 in the morning. I wrote my congressman about like how like daycare was like forcing me to. They were like, "Oh, well, you have to pay to hold your son's spot, or you're gonna lose your spot." And I had been put on a waiting list for like 9 months. Like as soon as I got pregnant, I got put on the waiting list. So like, I got so mad at that. I was like 3 a.m. writing like my congressman. I mean, just little things like that. It was like infuriating to me. I was like, I cannot believe I have to pay daycare services and I'm not even going to use them because I'm still on maternity leave and like all these things. Like it's just things that you never think you would deal with. Definitely deal with stuff. And I just remember being like really mad about it. Like, I'm going to write my congressman, like being like so pissed. I was like, this is stupid.
That's awesome that you did that though. And there is a group called Mom Congress, and it is a group that goes in and kind of works on, they work on legislation and all these different things specifically geared towards moms. So
yeah, I really need to be on it because like federally speaking, we like had something come up where I was supposed to be promoted and they're like, oh, well, you had to use leave without pay at some point. That's why you're not being promoted. And I'm like, well, I had a baby. Yeah. And they didn't promote me on time because I had a baby and I had to take leave without pay because I'm federally employed and we don't have maternity leave. We take our own leave.
Excuse me?
Yes, I know. Right?
Okay, I'm a Canadian, so I'm having an issue with this right now because even a guy's fathers have paternity leave and it's paid by the government. So why is it you guys?
And I'm a federal employee, so like you would think I work for the government, and that's like here I had to use my own leave. I had to save up all my leave and use my own leave. And then what I did is I had to use leave without pay and like weave it in. And they said, oh, because you used leave without pay while you were on maternity leave for the 3 or 4 months that I got, was basically 3 months that they weren't gonna pay. This is my son right here.
That's my grandson right there. Hi,
I've seen pictures of that. You got penalized for having the baby.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And I like got really upset by that, and I was like, I cannot believe that. So so that, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing that happened to me, and I'm still
and
like,
unfortunately, your story is probably not that uncommon. And Mama D, I mean, here in the U.S., we don't have any kind of guaranteed maternity leave or anything like that. We have FMLA that guarantees our job for 12 weeks if we take leave, but it's not paid. It doesn't, there's no guaranteed
Right.
anything.
I don't get this.
Yeah.
I know Canada. Don't you get a year too? Like a year of maternity
moms
leave?
get a year maternity leave. Yep, and it's paid. And dads get, I think it's 3 months, 90 days
Yeah.
paternity
We get
leave.
zero.
It's crazy.
Yep, just come on up to Canada.
We're all moving to Canada. We're all going in.
There you
We're gonna make
Well,
room.
except we can't get in. We can't get in right now. COVID-19. You can't get into Canada. They
I'll
won't
sneak
allow
over
us.
the border. I got connections at the border.
Yeah, I can't even get someone on the damn phone because of COVID-19. Honest to God, I'm in that endless loop with that stupid thing and PayPal and UPS and everybody else. Oh yeah, well due to COVID-19, we can't put anyone on the phone, so you're on your own. Click.
You're on the phone. You're not COVID. There's no.
It's an excuse. It's an excuse to rip people
Yeah.
off. So that gets me mad. Bob is saying hi, Jess and Jake. There he is.
Hi.
All right. But to back up, all right. So now we just kind of like went off on these big tangents. Okay. Now you did write, Cassie
That's what
is the
happens.
author. Okay. She did write the Mommy's Got a Tramp Stamp book, and I do have. Well, actually, I have the nicer picture
Yeah.
here.
Okay, much better that way.
That up there, that one right there.
Hey.
So here's Mommy Got a Tramp Stamp. That's the book. Mom Stuff is a site she made as well. So let's start with the book. All right. So what was it? What happened that really just made you write this book?
So, I mean, it kind of goes back with what I was saying to Jess. It was just it sparked from having these conversations with my friends and, them saying that they went through similar things and nobody was talking about it. And I think that was probably the biggest problem for me was that I didn't even really know what postpartum depression was because no one's really talked about it. It wasn't really, it may have been mentioned in one of my prenatal visits, but I don't even know if it really was. And I just didn't know until it hit me in the face. And I just kind of thought, hey, it shouldn't be like this. First of all, this should be something that we should be open to talk about because it's a completely normal thing. I mean, you think about what your body's just been through and your environment is completely shifted and your hormones are all whacked out. I mean, it's normal to be a little crazy. And that's part of the reason why I just felt like I needed to do this so that no other moms felt so bombarded like I did, I guess.
Yeah. What's funny is like my kids, right? She's my oldest, right? My youngest. The two pregnancies are completely different, right? And the kids are completely different, right? But with Jess, I had pretty much I was a nervous wreck myself personally because new thing. Oh my God, life into the world. I got to eat oranges and apples and this and every day and take my vitamins and all this stuff. And like, oh my God, and it was crazy. But my second one, my hormones, like it was like a cycle.
Yeah.
And this is the one that's like born so calm, but I'm like throwing stuff at your dad as he's coming home from work. We lived on the upstairs from my sister's house we rented an apartment up there, so there's stairs going up, so it's upstairs. I'm throwing things like TVs down on top of him, and now this is like 30 plus years ago, so they weren't these little flat screen TVs. These are big ass TVs, and I'm throwing get out. I'm yelling at him. And it's because my hormones went like crazy. I wasn't even, and that was like right at the beginning of the pregnancy. So I'm like, you gotta do something because I'm gonna kill someone.
And it's funny. I just did a quick search because I knew there was another name for postpartum depression. They used to call it the baby blues.
Yeah.
No,
This is
different.
more than the freaking blues.
Yeah, you have a different thing for that, right? You have two different.
Yeah, so they're totally different. So like the baby blues is pretty normal and it happens to like 80+% of women. But it's short term. It only lasts for a few weeks postpartum. Whereas postpartum depression, it can develop anywhere in the first year of a baby's life. They say even it can develop even later, but technically, by definition, anywhere in the first year, and it can last years. So it's different in length and severity.
Well, I was speaking to a counselor, and she was saying pretty much like, I guess like I'm in the military, so I'm a little bit of a control freak. And so I went to counseling like right after I had the baby because I started getting like anxiety and overwhelmed. And I just felt like I couldn't get, that momentum, or it was like really tough, it's just tough. And it's all on you. Like I read that part about like hating your partner. I hated my partner because like he couldn't participate as much. He obviously like I was breastfeeding, so there was that. And, basically like Jake took to me better. So like I didn't really get the breaks I feel like that I needed or deserved or whatever. So she basically explained, and it was like helpful to me, was that, you can just let go of, like the thing is like with a child, you don't have control anymore. It's like your environment, you lost all that control. So like, you just have to learn your new environment and, and basically get that expectation out of your head. And I was like, oh, what? Because like you basically are like lost your control,
Yeah. And that was hard for me too, just because I'm like your typical type A, personality. Everything needs to be a certain way. And yeah, that flew out the freaking window after having a baby. Nothing. And I mean, now she's almost 2 and there's no sense of control whatsoever.
Right.
In our life.
What's hilarious in your
And let me tell you,
going
doesn't get any better.
With all the stuff all over your clothes and everything, and trying to breastfeed. She was pumping all the time because we really had a problem with latching.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge issue for women. Is you had a hard time, Jess. Trying to get Jake to breastfeed at first. And she was getting all upset. We're all in the hospital. It's like, it's all right. It's gonna take time. It's never gonna work. And I'm like, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. And then she got the pumps and the
I hated it though. I hated breastfeeding. It was like another thing. It was like another challenge and it's another set of nightmares. Oh, can't.
Yeah, it just never worked. So like I just finally got to the point where I was basically so pissed that I'm just like, screw it. I'm not even gonna I'm just gonna pump. And I just strapped my boobs to a vacuum for the next 8 months. And that was a whole new.
And they got killer ones too. And you ended up getting the hospital ones, right? Because I think Jesse, you did too, didn't you? Get the hospital thing? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these machines are pretty freaking hefty. I mean, you go back 30 plus years ago when I had kids. I don't know how old your kids are, Mama, but we had pumps, but they weren't these. Holy cow! Things you get nowadays. Oh my God!
But the thing about it is it takes time. And so like everything you're doing, you're like trying to sleep, you're trying to like manage, and all these things take time. And it's just like you don't even have time to eat. I feel like I forgot to eat like days. I was like, oh yeah, I should probably eat something. Yeah. Oh yeah, you know what I mean? Like you're just going through.
Yeah.
I don't know, survival mode. It was really hard. I think it's really hard. I've had lots of jobs in my life. Like I've been to Iraq, and I told this lady, I was like super emotional. I was like, this is the hardest job I've ever had in my whole life. Like
that's true. I mean, it is 100%.
Taking care of another life and keeping him alive. Yeah.
Yes, you got to keep that kid alive. Yes, that's a big.
Yes, otherwise your mother will have a hissy fit.
Yeah, teach him how to communicate and be nice and nice and not rip the ears off the cats and
Yeah. Well, and that's just the point. It's not just like, okay, you think it's a big deal because you have a human life that's solely dependent on you for survival, but then it's all the other things too. Mm-hmm. Like you have to teach them to be like a real human and not a cave animal, like there's so much that goes into it that just like, I don't know. It's like literally, it's like you're saying, it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And I mean, I've never been to Iraq, but
That was insane. When she first went to Iraq, oh my God, that was when shock and awe and everything was happening, and it was on news every day. So here I am, a mom. It's one thing if you have sons going off to war, you're still gonna panic, but your son, right? It's my daughter, right? And she's in shock and awe. It's on television every time I come home from work. I'm like, oh my God, watching all the craziness, and where she was, it wasn't as bad as some of these areas, but it was bad enough. And
that's what she thinks, anyways. That wasn't bad at all. She was like, "What's that noise?" I'm like, "Oh, they're just moving stuff. It's fine. I gotta let you go, though."
Bombs going up. Like, oh my God, I don't want to know. She told me some stuff later, but I'm like, okay, that's enough. That's enough.
Okay, thanks, Mom. I love you. Here, let me tell you all this stuff. Then she'll stop bugging you. There you go.
Yeah.
I would say, like, reading your book, though, I felt like compelled to maybe write my own story or add to it. Like my mom said, she was reading it and she showed me excerpts and stuff, and then I started reading it and I was like, I can totally relate to a lot of almost all of it. And I had a friend before me that had a baby, and I didn't know she had postpartum either, but she would tell me her son looks like an alien, and I'm like, he's beautiful. And she had it instantly. As soon as she had the baby, she felt very disconnected to him. She didn't feel the attachment, and she didn't even want to really hold him. And I was like, he's beautiful. You need to hold him. He's great, And I didn't really understand that because people don't really talk about it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I don't understand what's going on, And then having gone through it myself, I felt an instant connection with him, but I felt also this extreme, overwhelming, sinking feeling, it's just so hard. And you just really, I don't know, the breaks and the things like that. So I really appreciated reading that because I felt it was nice to hear someone else's story,
Well, thank you. And I mean, honestly, if you feel compelled to do it, you should do it because there needs to be more stories out there because, you're going to relate to somebody differently than how I'm going to relate to somebody. And, I think the more that we can arm new moms with information, first of all, and then just it's almost like a sense of camaraderie, you realize that, okay, I'm having these feelings that are really messed up, but I'm not the only one that's having them. So maybe I'm not. Because I think that's part of it too, is we're worried about that we're going to that something's wrong with us, at least I think maybe for me, that's how I felt something was wrong with me at first.
Yeah. And I would definitely say that is very scary. Thought too, because I felt the same way. I made myself go to counseling because I was I can't get a control over for me, I got so overwhelmed. It was just really difficult, and I felt a lot alone, even though maybe my sister came and she really helped me a lot, and my mom was there for the whole thing. And God, I feel bad for her. I was an emotional wreck. Poor lady. It was a nightmare. Yeah, the whole process was just really difficult. And I had a lot of support, but I also felt very alone. And I think reading what you said, about, even though you had support, you felt that way a bit. Those are the things that I could really relate with because it is
on this
more in the beginning solely on you kind of almost feeling.
Yeah.
But you have a blog, right? Now on your blog and you have a podcast as well. Now are those places where Jess could vent, her stories?
Yeah, absolutely. I love to have other moms do guest posts on my blog. Our podcast, it's me and one of my girlfriends that do it. It kind of got stalled out due to COVID because she was just coming over to my house and we were doing it because we're not tech savvy enough to do all this stuff.
You can teach me how to do it this way. It's easy.
Well, so we're just screw it. We'll put it on hold until. Plus, it's a chance for us, to get together and drink wine and do that too.
Oh, there we go.
Necessary, very necessary.
Just grab a wine and she'll be right there with you.
Yeah.
How come we don't drink on this show? That's sometimes we really need it.
Like water.
There you go.
The good stuff.
Non-alcoholic beverages. Yep,
Yeah,
I know.
they're good.
Got the feeling.
Okay, well, I might have to like mute your microphone if you started drinking on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be so much better.
All depends on the topic and who the guest is. There you go.
Yeah, that's true. It can either make you mellower or light the fire or even burn.
There'll be a lot of amens going on.
Amen. Can I get an amen?
No, baby, not now. Don't vacuum.
The swear jar might get a little fuller too.
Oh, heck yes. In multi-languages, darling.
Yeah, for me,
This is what's happening in my house right now.
Mom will be swearing in French. Oh, you're gonna vacuum.
Oh,
Oh,
vacuum. He's going to clean the house.
right.
Yay!
Rob.
Clean the house. Mom's going, don't turn
Yeah.
this off.
He wants me to turn it on, and there's no way. It's because I'm on this. That's why he wants me to turn it on.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I can distract her.
Welcome. Hi, George.
Hey, George.
We love you.
Okay, a guest in the chat room says, stand up and take a bow, ladies. I watched 12 hours of childbirth and I was exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I had a C-section.
I'm not going to ask whether it was live or a video. So
Mama is the only one that had natural childbirth in this room.
yeah.
I had 2 C-sections. First one with Jess was a nightmare. I had a crazy ass doctor. Oh my God, Dr. Borno. He's got to be long dead by now.
Put a name.
But he was an old man, and she was breech, and he kept trying to turn her in my stomach. So I had fingerprint black and blue marks all over my belly. I was in labor for 36 hours plus hard, heavy back labor. I was a smoker at the time. That was my only vice at the time that I cut down.
No,
But
baby.
they strap those things on you, the monitors, and I'm escaping. Like, I'm not getting anywhere. I am not getting any more dilated. This is not happening. I'm escaping. I'm going to have a cigarette. They're like, no, you can't. I'm like, stop me. Right? It's not going to happen. And
I
I'm
can see somebody trying to stop you.
no, they didn't. And when I came back, and I'm like, you got to do something. It was horrible. And I'm getting like really swelling and everything else. Like I had so many things going on. Dang. What is that? Going wrong.
No.
And
All the time.
Yep. Welcome to Mom
I have to
Life.
take this.
There you go.
we'll mute
So if
your mic
anybody-
a little bit.
And so if anybody's listening on the radio show, part of this, you're gonna see we are not killing the child. Just not
Yeah.
killing the child.
Yeah, we got real live mom stuff going on here, and so I muted her mic for a little bit. Is he okay? Just give a thumbs. Oh, he's okay. He's better. All right. Okay. But she. What
All right, what the hell happened? Excuse me.
What did you do?
It's okay.
Touch the button.
Honestly, like we just had a meltdown over like this.
The fact.
Oh.
Don't
Is
ask.
that what was making the noise?
Right. So
Yeah.
let me finish my story here, right? So my first C-section with her. All right. So now I'm in there. I get these fingerprint black and blue marks, right? She still wouldn't turn around. So I ended up having an emergency C-section. They couldn't get my husband at the time, her father, my kid's dad, into the room before the operation started. Now he's got a weak stomach, but he walks in the room and they already got everything's open and everything, and he's like, and he turned like 50 shades of green and blue and just did this and came down and sat, and he's like holding my hand. He put his hand on my arm that's strapped to the the table, and he's like putting his hand, and he was panicked, and I'm going, you're going down, and he's just like. I'm like, you're definitely going down. I don't know. I can't
You
remember.
caused this. You're paying for it, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know how my husband didn't faint, because he is like, he faints like at the sight of blood most of the time. And he made the mistake of looking over the curtain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, imagine walking into the room with that. You know what I mean? And it's like, ah!
Yeah.
It's like he walked in all proud dad and then went like white and green and blue. And I was just like, oh my God. I didn't think people could turn colors like that, but he did.
They're like, you know what? It's happening to me. Those are my guts that are on top of my stomach right now. I mean, like, you can calm down.
Well, you're moving on the table because they're like, they're not being gentle with you at all, So it's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Oh,
Well,
God.
I had an emergency C-section too, and I had been through. I had tried, pushed and pushed and pushed for like hours, like 12 hours. She said 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically said when I got done, they're like, your body's gonna feel like it went through natural and a C-section. So I couldn't even get off the couch in the beginning.
Well, Jake was stuck. He was stuck in the birth canal because she has the same thing as me. All right, this is what I found out with my second pregnancy after I had this first emergency C-section, which really was emergency.
We just have a narrow pelvic.
Yeah, I would never have dilated.
So that's hereditary. And so that's why I had a scheduled C-section, and that's exactly the reason why, because big babies run in my family, and my daughter was almost 10 pounds, and my brother was the same way, and my uncle was the same way, and they both got stuck. Like my brother broke his collarbone, my uncle had like head stuff, like he had to get sucked out or whatever, and they were afraid he was
I punctured a hole in Jake's lung because I had pushed so hard. That's like part of it. He was in the NICU. Yeah. So I basically had like a pinhole size puncture because I had been pushing, trying to get him out. And basically like all that pressure.
I'm in the delivery room with her too, and I'm holding her leg. And she's pushing, and I'm like holding with all my might, and she's pushing. And she's a strong girl, let me tell you, right? Because I mean, I think I'm strong. She's like strong.
That's the worst, man. I don't even know. I don't know.
Girl, more power to you. I'm very thankful that I just scheduled mine, and
I wish that I had like done that. I mean, I wish that I had known, because I wouldn't have put me or jeopardize my baby, and that's another thing. Like, they don't tell you about like what happens at the NICU too. It's like, so I'm lucky, like my son was a giant in the NICU. He was 7 pounds, 5 ounces. We went to the NICU, and like all these poor babies are like 2 pounds, Yeah. But that's a whole nother process. Like, you don't really feel the bond with your son because you're basically like
all the wires and everything. Remember, trying to change everything. And if you're trying to change his diaper and one of the leads gets loose, then the machines are going off and the nurses come running in, and he's like, oh my God, what did I do?
It's just a huge challenge. And right now I have a friend that has like a preemie, like really early birth, and her baby was born 1 pound 3 ounces.
Yeah, our best friends, their baby was 1 pound 9 ounces, and
it's awful. I mean, honestly, that life right there, I can't imagine, because that's got to be like so difficult. So I mean, I guess I'm blessed in a way, because like other than that, he came out really healthy, and I have this healthy child. But yeah, I mean, it's just that there's a lot more things that could go wrong. It's hard. I think it's all hard. This is, like I said, the hardest job I've ever had. I can't imagine. Yeah. I mean,
but that's another thing. Like, and I think that's another thing that makes us like, we kind of feel bad. Like, I've talked to a lot of moms that are like, oh, but I have this healthy baby. I don't have anything to be depressed about, or I don't have anything, to worry about, like, because my baby's healthy. Or they think, oh, well, I know people that can't get pregnant, and I was able to get pregnant and have this baby, so I have no right, to have these feelings. And I mean, I understand, why we feel like that, but everybody's got their own journey. Like, it's all like, we're all going down different paths, and it's freaking hard no matter how you look at it, and that's the thing, is like, it's just like you said, it's just hard. It's the hardest job on the planet, and
it really is. And the thing is like,
feel bad about the way we feel.
Nobody needs you more than your child, ever.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it never changes. A child will always want his mom, he or she, as much as we dads want to be part of.
Yeah,
example, I was like I had my second child, so I was fell down the stairs. It was fine. I fell down the stairs, and the first words that popped out of my mouth were "Mummy." So children always need their moms. So we never, as moms, never stop being moms. Because I know, like my mom was alive. Every time I had an issue, go to my mom. So your child will always come to you. So it's something that dads want that, and a lot of dads get that. But when moms are there, that's the first place most kids go to is, got to tell my mom. I need mom's advice. So it's something that we have to, that moms, as much as dads want it, that moms will never change. It is the hardest job that any woman can have, is to be a mom.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. So, all right. Now we've talked about. I think 'cause you go through everything in this book, really, and it's it's not a giant book, people. Okay, it's not. It's a good read. It's a funny read. I mean, not to say that these are subjects to laugh at. Eventually you can laugh at them, but
Yeah.
while you're going through them, they're a living nightmare. Now, the depression part of it, though, this is a serious thing. I mean, a lot of moms do go that route, do commit suicide. You just don't see the other way, that this too shall pass, or any of those things. So now, what exactly happened with you, and when did it start? How did it end?
So it pretty much started immediately. Like I started having these feelings like pretty much before we even got home from the hospital. And like you said, Jess, it was more just like overwhelm initially. I was just so like holy crap, what's happening? Like what did I get myself into, kind of thing. But then it just kept progressing off of that, and it got to the point where I went 2 weeks, like 2 solid weeks, no sleep, like zero sleep whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah, like and my husband says it's the scariest thing he's ever seen, because he says as soon as I would fall asleep, like my eyes would close and I'd just go, like I'd just wake up in a complete like panic, because I was convinced my daughter was gonna die. Like I thought I would think I was smothering her. Like, I just had all these weird thoughts and stuff that was going on. So anyway, not sleeping. I didn't eat or drink anything during that time period, and I wound up in the hospital. And that's how I got diagnosed, because luckily my OBGYN was like very aggressive, and she was like, okay, this is what's going on with you. We need to get you on medication. You need to start seeing a counselor, all that stuff. And so I got treatment pretty quickly. So I'm thankful for that, because I don't know how it would have went, had I not gotten treatment so early on. But the medication definitely helped. And I think a lot of it was actually like realizing what I had, and like doing research, and like realizing like I needed to sleep, and I needed to do some of these things that like I just wasn't doing before. And that's kind of what helped me get through it. And, I'll be honest, it's 2 years later and I still struggle. I'm still not completely recovered, but it gets better every day, I think. And it was probably those first 6 to 9 months that were the hardest for me.
Yeah, that is a nightmare. And this is why, things like this, because like even in the video we're like, saying, people don't talk about it. They didn't talk about it, way back, when me and Mama were giving birth, they definitely didn't talk about it. And now in this day and age, people talk a lot more about things. Hey, you back? I don't know what she's.
You muted her.
Oh, I can't unmute her. Are you unmuting her?
I got her. No, I think she muted herself.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can't unmute your guests because they.
I muted myself because Jake's just being a little out of control, and I just have him by myself tonight, so she's not cooperating. So we're taking a bath. So.
Oh, all right. All right, well,
me too.
I'll mute you again. Okay. All right, that's cool. We'll remove you for a little while.
We'll just
Right?
pop you down into the
Yeah,
green room.
we'll pop you down. Maybe we'll bring you back up after bath time, okay? Well, there's momhood for you right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well,
Exactly.
that kid loves bath time. You know what I mean? You got to find something that they love to do just to get them calm, so you can.
And that's and it's the best thing. A bath, if that's what calms your child, then a bath is great because eventually they'll be, especially a young boy, he'll be like smelling like when he hits his teens, and he'd be like, "Go take a shower." It's like, "Nah, I smell fine, Mom." I have 2 boys. Trust me.
Yeah. I know. Thank God. Thank God. All right. Now this is a thing. Now, what did you want to have when you were pregnant? Did you know right away? You know, like
Me?
yeah. Did it matter?
Okay. Yeah, I was convinced we were having a boy. I wanted a boy, and we were so excited to find out that we did the blood test. You can do a blood test at like 10 weeks versus waiting till like 16 weeks for the ultrasound. And we did the blood test, and when my OBGYN, she called me with the results, I started crying when I was on the phone with her when I found out I was having a girl. And I felt like such a piece of crap for crying over that. But I was just
your poor daughter.
I was having a boy.
Your poor daughter, I'm telling you, when she gets older, when she reads this and everything, and the other books that are going to be coming later, because I know there's going to be some, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a whole new therapy session going on here.
But you know what? I believe that daughters come into our lives first for the dads, because all the bit like it's when we had our conversation earlier, dads are like, I'm gonna have a son, I'm gonna be really proud, it's gonna teach him to play baseball and yada yada yada. And then they have a girl, and they kind of go like, oh geez, so cute, that's when you turn into balls of mush. So
I know my husband melts over my daughter, and it's the funniest thing, because he's all like, I mean, we're avid, like we're outdoors people, and we're avid hunters and everything, and he's all like, yeah, we're gonna shoot guns and do stuff. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, she's shot her first gun already. So
oh my God,
she's excited about, well, I mean, she just pulled the trigger.
Yeah, right. Well, that's all right. That's all right. That's good. That's good.
Girls can do everything boys can do.
Exactly.
And what we can't, we can get a mule to do it.
There you go.
Right.
Did you say male?
A mule.
Same difference. Same difference.
About the same.
An ass.
Same difference.
For
all the guys in the room, terribly sorry, but same difference.
Right. We got a comment in here though. I mean, we're kind of laughing, but this is a not laughable comment. JoJo, the postpartum was horrible, coupled with the son that was being conceived with rape. Actually, and she is a lesbian. So I mean, it's like that's really horrible, and a horrible thing to go through. So that's like adding insult to injury when you have to go through those types of things.
Yeah, I can't imagine just going through the trauma of that to begin with, and then adding in what we talked about, just like the normal, the environmental, the hormonal, all that stuff, and then you have that trauma on top of it. I mean, that would, I think, be a recipe for disaster. So JoJo, I hope that you're okay now, and I hope that you're through it at this point. But I'm so sorry that you went through that.
Yeah, I have a question. Is there as much as a lot of people love and don't love Facebook? He's 30 now and amazing. Yay, JoJo. Is there a group on Facebook, like a private group, where moms who are going through postpartum depression can join? Do you know of one?
There are several. One that I'm a member of, that I really like, and there's a lot of good moms in there. It's called Moms with Anxiety. So, and there are other different, moms with depression and anxiety, different groups like that. I actually started my own group. It's just called the Mom Stuff Postpartum Support Group. And it's smaller. Like, we don't have a lot of members yet, but, it's just there needs to be places like that where women can go and just talk about, you know, their feelings kind of guilt-free, because I feel like there's so much judgment. It's like every corner we turn, we're being judged for something, you know, some decision or something that we're doing. So, you know, it's so important to have some sort of venue to talk about it where you don't have to worry about.
So for those people who want to join this group, hook up with Cassie Pigg on Facebook and just ask her, because I'm sure it's a private group so that nobody can just pop in and pop out and see everything that goes on.
Yeah. You have to. I have to accept you into the group, but you know, it's good. It's a good place. You know, it's a lot right now. It's a lot of like me and my friends that are in there.
Well, we're gonna add you a few more friends.
Yeah, good.
We'll be adding some more good friends in there too. Plus, you know, the more the merrier, and then, you know, you need the camaraderie. You need to have the story, because, you know, because then maybe you can laugh, and then the laughter, you know, that does something to your body. You know what I mean? It changes you when you're laughing at something, as opposed to feeling all alone. The dark clouds follow me. The rain is just coming on me. Oh, woe is me. There's nothing is going to make this better, until you talk to someone that's gone through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or going
through. Because we can let, like, thanks to the universe, I never went through it. Not that I can remember. I never went through it. And so I can't understand. I mean, I can understand, but I don't know the feelings. So somebody talking to me about it, I can listen, I can hear what they're saying, but I don't know exactly what they're going through. So this is something that you need to be able to talk to somebody who understands it, because they went through it themselves.
Yeah.
So
and that's another thing that's important too. You know, if there are any moms out there that are watching this or listening that are, you know, think that they're experiencing this, it's important to not just in the people that you talk to, but your healthcare providers. So they're actually therapists and psychiatrists that are, and counselors that are certified in perinatal mental health. And you can find those through Postpartum Support International. Postpartum.net is the website. But that's a great resource, because, you know, it kind of goes back to what you're saying. Someone who hasn't gone through it, or doesn't have the right training, who doesn't have all the tools, can help you, but they can only help you to an extent. So it's helpful to have someone that's, you know, certified too, as well as just talking to people that have been through it.
Totally.
So I am putting into the chat room the link for postpartum.net. So if anybody needs it, it's there as a direct link.
Yeah, what was the anxiety one too? Put that one in there. What was that?
It was Moms with Anxiety. It's a Facebook group.
Yeah. So put that one in there, 'cause that would be good.
Yeah.
There's lots of new moms, and there's always going to be lots of new moms. You know. And this is like good for new moms,
and the thing is,
grandma,
they can't be afraid.
Because then, you know, it brings it back up, you know, like, you know, because for me it was so long ago, and then my daughter's living through it, you know, and I'm trying to explain to her, you know, and she's like, oh, Mom, you don't understand. It's like, yeah, I do, because I had 2 C-sections. I know what you're feeling, you know. Even though it was a long time ago, I do remember.
Yeah. Well, and it's important too, like you said, for other people though, to be aware, you know, like this isn't a topic that's necessarily just for moms. It's for dads, it's for aunts, uncles, grandmas, sisters, brothers, everybody, because, and this is what my husband and I were actually having this conversation a while ago, because we were talking about, you know, if we decide to have another baby, like what we, you know, like, it's scary to think about that, right? Just because of what I went through. And, you know, we talked about like how much we know now versus we didn't know. And, you know, like even him, like he knows signs and symptoms to look out for now, whereas he didn't have a clue before. He was just scared. He just thought I was going to die, because he didn't know what was going on with me, you know. And so it's helpful for anybody that's involved to like kind of be aware, know the watch outs, essentially.
Yes, absolutely. That's spot on.
If somebody came to you, it might be a question on our question list, but I'm just going to go there. If somebody came to you and says, what are the top 5 things to look for, to, like, a husband or a partner would be looking for those signs. They see those signs in their partner who just had a baby. What are the top 5 signs to look for?
Well, there are a lot of different signs and symptoms, because that's one thing about postpartum depression, is kind of just this label that's given to a lot of different diagnoses. Like, so I had postpartum anxiety, and that's kind of a diagnosis that falls under postpartum depression. There's postpartum OCD, postpartum rage. There's all these different things that are just encompassed under that postpartum depression. But I would say probably the biggest watch outs would be like sleep disturbances, like extreme changes in sleep habits, like outside of just the normal, like you're not sleeping because you have to feed your baby and stuff like that. Like the complete inability to sleep, which is like what I experienced.
Okay.
Like the symptoms of like rage, or like loss of control, things like that. Definitely any kind of like intrusive thoughts or hallucinations, or like losing touch with reality, things like that. That's probably more than 5, but
Yeah.
Yeah, well, these are good. You can do more than 5, even though she asked you for 5. You can do
Oh,
more.
yeah.
Yeah.
Things that people should hear and that they should be watching out for.
Yeah. There's definitely there's a lot of different things, and like for me, I had the extreme anxiety, so like I became obsessed. So like a obsession can be a sign, like becoming obsessed like over your child or over anything really. But like I was obsessed over my child, like I thought she was going to die. So all of those things are pretty standard precursors for a more severe form. Like I said, though, there are the baby blues, and that's generally where moms feel like kind of just a little overwhelmed, sad, like weepy kind of, it's almost like going through that like grieving stage of almost like grieving your life, your prior life. But that generally lasts like a few weeks. And then it goes away on its own without medication or counseling or, any like intervention, basically.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. All right, hold on. The suicidal thoughts were horrible, more than normal, and he was colicky. So, oy vey. She writes, yeah, that's true. I mean, it's like the things, they just like compound and they pile up and they pile up and they pile up. And once you separate those things, and you have a chapter in here called "Let It Go," which I adore. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it says, okay, when you become a mom, there's a certain amount of shit you're just not gonna, you're just going to have to let go. Your house will never be spotless again. You might walk around with boogers or spit up on your clothes. These things like that. You just gotta let these things go. I mean, they're just. But it's a little chapter, but it was a little powerful little chapter on letting things go.
It is.
And when the things are all like this is when it's worse. So. You can separate them and deal with them one at a time, it's not as bad. But once you get to that suicidal stage, it's so overpowering, and you do feel so alone. So what you're doing is like amazing for moms. Amazing.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, it's so important to talk about, but it's something that I hate to even say, but suicide is the second leading cause of mortality postpartum. Like that was published in a study a couple years ago. And, like, to me, that's not okay. Like that shouldn't be a mom's only option. Like a mom should not feel like that's her only option, and a lot of times it's because she isn't comfortable talking about it or doesn't have the right kind of help or support that she needs, or she feels like she has to do everything alone. A lot of times, that happens when the most severe form of postpartum depression is called postpartum psychosis. And that's where you generally like actually lose touch with reality. So what happens during this point is like instead of a woman thinking like, oh, my baby's crying, I feel like I could shake them. Like, because I feel like that's almost like a normal thought. You think, oh my gosh, my baby's crying, like, oh, stop crying. But the part where you get to like the psychosis is when the mom is like, my baby's crying. I think shaking them would be a good idea because that would set them free. Like those are the kind of thoughts that like you can start to have. And it's and I had some of those thoughts and it's freaking scary. Like it will knock you on your butt. Like I didn't know what really I was capable of or anything. And so yeah, it's just
I wanted to make a point though before when you were saying, you're talking to your husband about the next baby, and the things to look for and whatnot. But it's not a guarantee you're going to go through the same type of pregnancy, because again, like mine were two completely different pregnancies. It was like night and day,
Mhm.
I mean, I felt different. I carried different. I thought maybe I'm having a boy and a girl, but
That's true.
Girl.
But there is.
No, you're freezing up.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, sorry. Are you there?
Yep. Oh,
okay. Sorry.
Okay, for some reason we're not getting the comments in the chat room. So hang on. Well, I'm not seeing the comments in the chat room, but if there's a good one.
I have JoJo's last one was the one I put up, was the last one that I have in the.
Okay, but there's a few more after that.
Oh really? Yeah.
JoJo sings "Let It Go."
Oh, nope.
Yep.
I don't
Cassie
know.
just went.
You're freezing in funny positions, but I don't know if you want to try again. Are you okay? You're moving. You want to try?
We have no sound.
Oh, there's no.
Okay,
sound.
am I good now?
Okay, there we go. Okay, yes.
I think so.
Okay. Now you can hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Again. We're gonna have a fun night tonight. It's glitch moment.
I know. What time is it? You know what? We're almost
8:56.
Let's take a break. Let's
take our break.
All right.
And then
we'll take a break. We'll be back in 3. The Fox Den is now proudly sponsored by Vortex Ghost Gear, one of the leading fabricators of paranormal equipment. Bob Christopher is the founder and creator of Vortex Ghost Gear. He has decades of investigating, starting with his team at NEPA, and as lead in the popular local TV show Ghost Detectives, he has experience of how spirits could be seen or heard. Using this knowledge, he has manufactured equipment for specific scenarios of spirit manifestation and communication. He is the only manufacturer of the popular lifelike trigger prop cats and dogs. Using proximity meters wired to lights and sound, these prove to be highly effective communication devices in the field of study. The HTO, another Vortex exclusive, allowing specific items to be the highlight or trigger of your investigation. For example, place the item on a metal tray or attach directly to any metal object such as keys or glasses that continue to go missing or moved. Ask the spirit to touch the item. The HTO will light. It has a sound option as well. This device was used in Travel Channel's Ghost Nation with great results. The Dome, a static detector, can be the most useful device in your gear bag. This is to back up the theory that the spirits manifest using static electricity. Using several, you can track a spirit, for example, walking down a hallway, setting off each as it passes. The Geophone detects vibrations. This is another way to track movement. If a claim is footsteps in the hallway or stairwell, set the sensitivity and place the device in that area. Its band of lights will show a range of vibrations from the slightest tapping, lighting only a few lights, to the loudest thumping, lighting the entire range. The EasyScan Ghost boxes are very popular due to the ease of use. They are custom decorated to the individual or team using them. Bob programs and uses an Arduino-based computer scanning FM waves to potentially communicate with the spirit realm in real time. Every box is unique and all custom hand decorated by Gina Bankston. The V-Pod has a special place for those who love the idea of REM pods. Use this sleeker, smaller, easier to transport device. It is a must-have in your gear bag. Take your investigating to the next level with many of Vortex Ghost Gear's unique and custom creations by Bob Christopher. Visit www.vortexghostgear.com to view all the products and get your equipment today. You can also investigate with Bob and Gina with ghostly excursions, taking people to some of the most haunted locations in the USA. Visit www.ghostlyexcursions.com and join us on our next adventure.
And we're back. And we have a new
Yes.
system over here we're working with.
Hopefully. Is it working now?
Yes. Thank God.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Well, my husband he just put our daughter to bed and he brought the video monitor in here, and I swear that screws with my Wi-Fi signal. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just the signal of the video monitor or something. I don't know.
Yes. Because
Okay, and our comments are just finally coming through.
wow, everything. See, look at that. Huh. Everything's good. Everything's coming up.
Jess said, there you go. Jess in the chat room says, whoops, where'd you go? Don't move. Thank you so much for having me. I have to put Jake to bed.
Oh.
Hey, Jakey.
Yes, thanks for coming on. Yeah, I just figured, I wanted you guys to tell some stories about, some of the funnier things because,
I wanted good stories on you, so I'll get those later.
No, we go mute.
Ouch. Ouch. Wait, turn around, fair play, girl.
Awesome. All right, but getting back to it, shiny ball and all. All right, reel us back in. Now
There's a comment coming up in the chat room that says, Amanda Marchand, I don't even remember the night my son was conceived, and when he was born, I didn't really have any emotion. He is now 9 and very happy and healthy.
Wow.
Cool, Amanda.
Yeah, detachment. That's another kind of telltale sign of postpartum depression is not feeling that like bond or attachment with your baby. That's pretty common.
It is. Everybody's here. Everyone says that we're here. All right, good. I'm so glad you're all here. All right, I'm glad. I'm really glad. But what did I want to do? I wanted to bring something up, and it was like
Sorry.
Thing.
I'm sorry. I distracted.
We started talking about that you have a blog, right? And you talk about all these types of subjects and more, I'm sure, from mom.
Yeah.
But you also have a podcast.
Yes.
So what is that all about?
So the podcast is basically it's me and one of my girlfriends. We decided to start it, so we called it Wrecked Mamas because we're both wrecked. And that's what it is basically. It's just we talk about a little bit of everything from like our postpartum body issues to just dealing with everyday mom life and all of the ins and outs in between. So like I said, hopefully that will be starting again soon. We haven't done any new episodes in the last few months just because we like to get together and do them.
Yeah, get a StreamYard. You can do them for their
Yeah.
I taught Gina how to do it. I can teach you how to do it.
Yeah. You might have to.
It's not that difficult. Okay, it's really not that difficult.
Yeah, we've upgraded and made it, a lot more. Since
She's like a professional now. She like a professional now. Gotta pay her for
The
information.
videos and all that stuff. I mean,
I still ask her. I'm like, Mama, what about?
Slowly.
I'll have it all down pat, and she'll say, we should do this. Like we were talking about the LinkedIn stuff earlier, and she's like, oh well, we should do this. It's like, no, I just got all this down pat. Don't make me do any more. We have to
I believe everybody has something important to say, and you and your friend, that conversation is something that there's going to be a lot of people wanting to listen to, because you can do the thing is you can do it straight in your group. You don't have to do it like YouTube and all that stuff. You can just do it to Facebook in your group, and that'll bring more people to listen, more people to get that feeling like, damn it, I'm not alone, and I'm not losing my marbles, because there's ladies there who listen.
That's awesome. That's a good idea. I never thought about doing it in in our Facebook group or anything. We just did it like a traditional podcast, and put it on like iTunes and iHeartRadio and stuff like that.
You can upload all that, and all that can go to all the places. So yeah, right now we live stream here, we live stream on YouTube. We can upload the audio, we can upload the video. So then we can put it on other venues after that, in which we do the audio goes to 8 other different venues, as well as the Blog Talk Radio, which is going on as it is. So it's a lot of different venues, but you can add and add and add. And this is a really important subject to get out there.
Yes.
It basically save a life. It can save not even just the mom life, the child life.
Yeah.
Because when you get that depressed, and you, like you were talking about starting to shake the baby, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those things, these things happen. It is sad to say, yes, it is, but it does happen. And the thing is the only way to get it fixed is to get the word out there, so they don't feel like that this is the only one that they're happening to. And oh my God, I'm a rotten person. You're not a rotten person. You just have, there's an issue going on. It's like a chemical change. Like you said, medicine, you needed medicine. Why? Because there's a change in your chemistry that is happening because of giving birth, which men will never have any idea about, what the hormones and everything and how it can make you crazy. Even just, the monthly period thing, like the PMS and stuff like that. PMS, you can kill people. All right. I'm telling you, I wanted to kill people every month, till I had my hysterectomy. It was just like,
Yeah. Well,
in the chat room, we have JoJo. She says, I wonder how many women have it, do you think? And she says, I've read about moms killing their children and themselves with the postpartum depression.
Yep. And it can affect up to 1 in 5 new moms here in the US. And that's a pretty big number if you think.
That is a huge number. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't help it. You can't help these thoughts to come in. Like I had thoughts stormtroopers were going to come barreling through my windows to steal my baby. Stormtroopers, like on ropes, coming breaking through my window. I really thought this was going to happen.
Ninja thieves.
Yeah, ninjas, but just I'm like, what the heck? It's just the craziest thoughts come into your head, and there's nothing to do but the medications now that they're out there. You can try different things that can help get you back into balance. Like just not even like the pregnant thing, the PMS thing. All right, women, all right. Midols and all those things, those things help. Primusin or Premarin or what, I can't remember what they are. It's been so long for me. But I'm in the next phases.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of, and that's part of the problem too, I think, is there's a lot of stigma around even just medication in and of itself. Like people think that if they have to get on medication, like it's a sign of being a bad mom, or it's a sign of being crazy or something like that. And that's not the case at all. Like if you have to get on medication, so what? It's no different than if you have heartburn, you're going to take PPI or something, there's no difference whatsoever. So like, it's fine. Like taking medication, it's not a big deal. It doesn't label you as crazy. It doesn't make you a bad mom. It doesn't make you any of these things. It can just be a vehicle, and it doesn't have to be forever. I'm not on medication now, but I desperately needed it at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pull out. It's like your body was going to go through these changes. Just like when you're pregnant, the baby is taking everything from you. It takes from your teeth, it takes from your hair, it takes from your skin, your bones, everything. It drains you, you know? And so, of course, you're getting thrown into this big vortex of holy hell.
Yeah.
All right?
Mhm.
So,
We have a question in the chat room from one of our men. Okay, Dave, has this always been around, or is it more to do with the times we are in?
oh no, it's always been around.
So it's
Thank you,
always,
Dave.
it has always been around. I believe the times that we are in is making it more, people are more vocal about it and it's being talked about more. Like now there are celebrities starting to come out and really share their stories. Like Brooke Shields wrote an amazing book called Down Came the Rain, and it's about her experience with postpartum depression. And I think it's the times that we are in are making it easier for people to talk about it. But this is something that it's been around since the dawn of time. And I think, back then it's always traditionally just been more of a, oh, suck it up.
Yeah, it's a woman. It's a woman.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
used to lock
Exactly.
me up for that. Are you kidding me? Hysterical hysteria. You know what I mean? You got PMS. They lock you up in an insane asylum because you got PMS.
Uh-huh.
You know, what the hell? You know, why don't you try to walk a couple miles in these shoes? All right. You tell me
I would
You
love
could
to
work
see a
it out.
man pass a 9-pound, 5-ounce baby through his pee hole. I'm just saying.
exactly. Then you can talk to me, right?
Yeah. Then tell me how you feel.
Yeah. And I like it when the guys, when they actually volunteer to do at least the, when the labor inducing, like.
Oh, dude, I want to strap that on. I want to strap that on George. Do it live on it. Oh, sorry. We've got another comment in the chat room from Amanda Martin. After years of dealing with depression without meds and having the support of JoJo, I finally sought help with it. Freaking awesome, JoJo. And I'm so proud of you and Amanda. There you go,
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah. You go,
That's
girls.
awesome.
You go, girls. Hopefully I get down to see you one of these days. Maybe this virus ever leaves us. And that's
It'll be gone
too,
soon. We're gonna get rid of it.
the virus and pregnancy.
Oh,
Well,
that's a whole nother.
it's funny because my husband sits in front of the TV all the time, and basically a news channel. I hear things, but they were finally said that a pregnant woman, cannot pass this on to her unborn child. So, which is like a major plus. That's one less stress that a mom goes through, but it just piles more stuff on top of it.
And then you're gonna have, the big, like if Jess, my daughter, wanted to go out while she was pregnant with the COVID, even though they say that they can't do that. How the hell do they know that, right? I'll be like, no, don't go out. So I'll be adding to her stress. Say no, stay put.
Yeah, but actually, like I've read some things that they're starting to come back off of that, because even though you can't pass the virus to an unborn baby, but if you get the virus and get severely ill, it can cause some health complications to your unborn baby. So I mean, there's so much we don't know. Like this virus, there's so much like we don't.
So you say you can, so they say no, you can't. They don't know. All the time is being supposed to be devoted. All this time we've been locked up like animals.
Yeah.
All the where's our brilliant minds? You think they haven't come up with something? Of course they have. Are they going to give it to us? No. You know what?
They're starting human trials of vaccines now. So
Yeah,
well, that's supposed to have been for like a month now.
But yeah. Can I get a few people to go try? No, I'm kidding. I got a few people's names on the list that I'd like to send them. See what happens to them. Yeah.
You got a few guinea pigs.
Yeah.
You want to submit?
Oh yeah. Just don't tell them what it is. Just
yeah.
Can I be the one who checks it? Sorry, I had a moment.
So I'll tell you
So,
I'll tell you guys a funny story. Speaking of that, with you going like that, so my day job, I'm in pharmaceutical sales, and I sell an injection, and we have these like demo injection pens. They don't have a needle or anything in them, but whenever I first started doing this job, I brought one home, and my husband was like standing at the sink doing something. I went up to him and went,
did you?
Okay, I need you to send me a couple. Seriously.
I know.
I got a few people I'd like to mess with so really bad. It's like right
Yeah.
there in the neck.
That's exactly what I did. I thought he was
What's
going
wrong with my meatloaf?
Yeah.
There you go.
Seriously, all right. Now you see how she is. All right, get the book. Read the book. That's all I can just say. Honest to God, I'm gonna put it back up here so you can see it better. All right. Now, first of all, that's a funny name. All right, you can talk.
Yeah, how did you come up with that title? I love it.
So it's pretty easy. I'm a mom and I have a tramp stamp. So that's
I really dislike that title because there's some. Now I'm assuming it's the one that's on your lower back.
the lower back.
yeah.
Okay. I think I have seen some amazing tattoos. Guys get tattoos back there, and it's not called the tramp stamp.
Yeah, it is.
It is? Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe for girls it's a tramp stamp, for guys it's a hallmark.
But no, and
That's bad, darling.
so, okay. So going back to the title of my book, though, the reason I landed on that title is because it kind of goes with the overarching theme of my book, and that is that you don't have to look or act or be or talk a certain way to be a good mom, you know.
Yeah, no.
And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And it just came to me, and I'm like, that's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
It
The
is.
thing is, a lot of people will see one picture of you and say, you know, as a person outside my house, people look at me and go, well, not really, but it's like, she must be a really bad mom. Because I've seen that, I've sort of thought that about women. I have to be honest. I've thought that about women where I work. It's a convenience store. I see women come in and I know they have kids, and I'm like, my God, she must be the worst mom in the world because the way she's acting now in front of me. But what you see in front of you and what happens behind closed doors are always two different things.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to that whole judgment thing. You know, I mean, we're always being judged regardless of what we do, and I mean that's part of the whole like letting it go, because there's no such thing as like a perfect mom. Like there's no definition of, you know, a perfect mom. So you just got to let it go, and you got to do the best you can, and realize that we're all struggling. Like we're all just trying to get by at the end of the day. So give yourself some grace. That's all I can say.
Exactly.
And
I'm pregnant. It's like, oh my God, my life is going to be like this, and my child is going to be so perfect, and it's going to be like this, and they're going to go to this school, and we're going to push them on the swings, and we're going to go here, and then it's like, what?
And then you have the baby, and they're eating rocks in the driveway.
Exactly. Yeah. Jesse riding big wheels up the tree.
there you go.
She's the biggest
Talk
dick.
about sand pies and they're actually eating it.
Yeah. But thank God I had girls, because I wouldn't know what to do with boys. My sister had boys, thank God, because she wouldn't know what to do with girls. And it's funny because in my family, there's 3 of us girls, right? I got pregnant, my sister got pregnant, my other sister got pregnant. So we have 3 cousins, right? Boom. 2 years later, my sister gets pregnant, I get pregnant. We look at my other sister. She said, hell no.
Can't say that I blame her.
Yeah, she went through. Well, she had a hard thing too, because the cord was wrapped around Angela's neck, and she was, you know, oxygen deprived. So she has a few issues. You know, she's good, she's great. You know, but my sister babied her to death. You know, locked her in the house. You know, don't go anywhere. And then she started working for me, and I kicked her into play. Basically, and I jump started that girl. Now she's like no stopping her. You know. She's out there. She's out there a lot more. But you just don't know. You don't know how you're going to act. You don't know how you're going to react. You don't know how kids are going to be. And I said, no two pregnancies are the same. No two.
Nope. No two children are the same.
No two
Yep.
children.
But I will say, if you do have postpartum with a previous pregnancy, you are at a higher likelihood of having it with later pregnancy.
Every other
It's kind of like, it's the same thing. If you have anxiety or depression prior to having a baby, you're much more likely to have anxiety or depression postpartum.
Mhm.
Right. And that is a big thing, though. You like I said, that let it go chapter is really key. It's really
Mhm.
because you just can't run it all. You can't control it all. You do need to be able to let it go. And then it's not something that's going to come easy. You might need the counseling and you might need
Mhm.
the medication to help you get to that point.
Yeah. And if you can't, and I firmly believe that if you can't, let it, like, if you can't let some stuff go, like if you get to that point where you're just trying to control everything, like you literally will drive yourself crazy because you can't, like you can't control everything whenever you have this tiny human that's going to smear poop on the wall and, do crazy things. And like, if you will go, like you will actually go insane.
Did that happen to you? Because that happened to me. Jesse,
No, I did it.
Jackie never.
According to my father, I did that.
Oh, now Jesse.
But none of my children that I can
in her
remember.
crib. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Artistic talent. Look, Mom, look what I can draw.
Oh yeah. She carved into I had a water bed, right? As I used to sell water beds, so I had the pine water bed. Well, she's at the foot of my bed one day, and she's drawing horses and cows and stuff like that in the foot of my bed. Scratching it into the wood. And I'm like,
Well, thank God it was the wood and not the hair, but
yeah.
I would think of something like that there.
Yeah. No, so
But your book, here's the thing is I didn't have, as far as I know, postpartum depression. And it's been a few years since I've had babies. But the book is not just for moms who are going through or been,
Right.
My babies, my youngest is, oh God, he's over 20. Let's put it that way. Okay. But it's still an interesting read because it made me learn new things.
Mm-hmm.
Made me realize things. And when I see them, like I have a sister, I have nieces, I have a daughter, I have the daughter-in-laws, hopefully maybe 1 year, but I can see some things that they might go through, and I can be prepared for it. So it's like, it's a learn. It's something that I believe, for me personally, I believe everybody should take a day, read the book. Because that's about all it takes. Because like Gina said, it ain't that big. Trust me, I've seen big ones like this. But it's not that big, and it's not a difficult read. And, of course, you'll be giggling and just put a quarter in the jar, at least a quarter in the jar every time she swears and say how much money you have at the end of the jar. At the end of the book. Every time she cusses.
Yeah, count them all, right? And do a contest like thing, have everybody do that reads the book, put it, quarter, a dime, a nickel, whatever, for each swear in that thing, and send it off to some.
We should.
I was thinking, make it more fun. Just turn it into a drinking game.
Oh God!
Hello, on the air.
10.
I'll be on the floor. Shots, I'll be on the floor after 3. God, I take a sip of wine and I can feel it in my knees. Imagine 2 shots, I'll be done.
Shots.
But you know what we should have done is we should have done that. We should have counted her F-bombs throughout the book and had everybody in the chat room guess. And the person who guessed the right amount of F-bombs, we could have sent them a copy of the book. But that would have been just brain fart.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious.
Well, hey, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can do that on my page or something.
There you go.
Definitely do that.
Just get, you got so many. You have tell them there's 900 pages or how many? I didn't because
138.
Because the PDF pages and the book pages are not the same amount.
Yeah.
But this is my book. If you've read it, go for it. Count out the F-bombs, and the one you know, Cassie, you're going to have to go through and count your F-bombs
I
as
know.
well.
That actually sounds like a lot of work. So
Yep.
I don't know.
I know.
We'll see. Get your
Well-
husband to do it. There we go.
Yeah.
Honey, could you read this and highlight the F-bombs so we can count how many there are? You love me, don't you? I use that tonight. Honey, do you love me?
That's
Yes.
another serious subject, though. You know, like Jessie was saying, she hated her partner because doing all these things, and she's stuck home and she has to do all the work, and she feels like she's alone. Now you have a fantastic marriage, and you went through major struggles.
Yeah, like, and we can, and I mean, luckily we love each other enough we can laugh about it now, but like, I mean, I remember sitting in the rocking chair, like just staring at him while he slept, like just literally thinking about setting him on fire. Like, and I knew how good it would feel, like, to set him on fire. And he's like, whenever the first time I told him that, he was like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah. Well,
I'm not going to sleep in front of you anymore. I'll lock my door.
I mean, my daughter Jess, right? She's like 11 hours away from me, so it's a
Uh-huh.
trek. So I drive down there, and this is what I'm listening to, and I'm watching it, and you could see the daggers come out of her eyes when he'd walk by, because he's going to work, and she's just like,
You just traumatized Bob in the chat room.
I kill you.
Bob,
Yeah.
I'll sleep in the chair.
But I mean, I say that, and I really did, like, I had, because, and part of it was because I had all these issues, and I was trying to breastfeed. And so, like, basically, like, my night would look like this. Like, Izzy would start screaming. I would get her up. I would try to breastfeed. We'd try for about 30 minutes. She would never latch. That wouldn't work. So I'd give her a bottle, and that would take however long it took her, to drink her bottle. Then she'd fall asleep, and I'd put her down. Well, then it was time for me to pump. So I'd have to pump. That would take about 30 minutes. And then I'd have to wash the pump parts, put all the stuff away, like, get ready. And then it was time for her to wake up again. So we just started that vicious cycle. I never got to sleep. My husband was working at the time, so he was sleeping at night and then going to work during the day. I didn't ever get a break.
The normal life. Yeah, and you're not getting any sleep. And then it's like, and then your brain intervenes and says, well, maybe I can get 10 minutes sleep here if I could just shut my eyes for 10 minutes, and then maybe 5 minutes, and then you're like so worried about that.
Yeah. Well, and then for me, it started to get, like, I started to get to this point where it was like, because he could have helped me, like, in the evenings and stuff whenever he got home from work. And he would have, if I ever would have, like, asked him or, like, let him, but I didn't. Like, I did, I just got to the point where I was like, well, he's not helping me at night or whatever, so he's just not going to help me. And I didn't let him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Bob's ice cream is the magic word.
Yeah.
Back then, I wouldn't have been.
One thing I'm loving about you, Cassie, is yes, I read your book. Yes, you were honest in your book. But even here, people will see that your book is exactly how you are. You are honest with everything. I mean, how many women are actually going to sit there and think, like, I wanted to set my partner on fire, and I knew it would feel really good. But and the thing is, a lot of people, maybe not on fire, lay him butt naked with honey and let the ants crawl.
But you can think of some things, like when you get
Some things.
Exactly.
Flamethrowers are good things.
And the thing is, you're honest about it, and this is what people need is somebody who is honest about, like, there's some poor person out there, some poor woman out there who would have had that thought and be like, wait a minute. She had to say, wait a minute, let's go talk, because, I need to know that I'm not a total nut job because I thought about setting my partner on fire.
Yeah.
And good.
I mean, you can think of some pretty messed up things, like when you're in that space and you haven't slept and you're sitting there listening to him snore and watching him sleep so peacefully.
Ice bullet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
No evidence, because the ice melts and you're done. Trust me, it didn't even take postpartum for me to think about these things.
I know. I mean, I was there. I was witnessing
Sweet
this
mama.
with Jessica, and it's just like, oh my God. She's like, and then he'd come home from work, and then it was like an automatic to him, and it's like, wow, he just walked through the door. He doesn't know what he's going to walk into,
Uh-huh.
slaving all day, doing construction stuff. And then she expects him to come in and do all this other, household stuff. But, and in turn, she does need the help,
Yeah.
to do other things because you can't physically do all those things, especially when you first have a cesarean. You can't live.
Mhm.
You carry the
Mhm.
baby around. You know what I mean? You can't be doing all these things. I was stuck home. I had a waterbed. Like I said, with the cesarean, once I got in the bed, I couldn't get out.
Oh, good Lord, hope you
I'm
over.
like, what the hell?
We're trading off magic words here. My magic word, and Bob said his magic word is ice cream. I'm
I
guessing
know,
that's
where's
what
the ice cream? Go get
there
it.
you go. Yeah, hello. Make sure there's enough for me.
They closed.
My magic word personally is chocolate. You want to be on my good side? Bring me chocolate. That's all I got to do. I even had my daughter send, I wasn't a choice. She just sent it to me. Chocolate's in the mail. This was in the wintertime when it didn't melt, so I was good with it. And JoJo says her safe word is cheesecake. I like that one too. I'm just gaining weight for all the words in the chat.
Jojo, we're gonna keep it a little north. All right, so we're not gonna go there. But Bob, I mean, Dairy Queen is open, I think, till 10. It's 9:30.
Hello, Bob. Bring one up to me, please.
No, you've already had your munchies. I haven't had anything. I ate noodles
I
today.
haven't even had supper. Okay, so shush.
I ate noodles. Come on, Trump it.
I had meatloaf, so I'm good.
Oh, I know we were
Oh
talking.
yeah, you're gonna love
I want
meatloaf.
meatloaf.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
We want input after tomorrow. You'll send us.
No, I
You'll
want to
send
know
us
what
a
I want to
message
know what you
going
put
what you think.
in your meatloaf.
Yeah, the cold meatloaf. I don't know.
There you go.
Well,
Oh,
I'm still a
It
little
slices so much nicer.
yeah, just
All meat when it's
nice.
cold, the next
The
day
bread.
it just slices so much nicer. You can either have nice thin slices or big honky wonky chunky. Oh, Bob can't hear. Hold on, let's mute Gina. Gina, yell it too.
Yeah. I'll go down there.
Wait a minute, where's the big stick?
Wait. What's
Gina
the-
carry big stick. ICECREAM. Ice cream.
Ice cream.
I mean,
I'm gonna start
Morse code.
spamming. No, but seriously, all right, reel it back in again. This is probably one of the offest kind of interviews you've ever been on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of bad with shiny objects, so a lot of mine didn't go
We're in the right group, so we're good. Who inspires you?
Oh my gosh. There's a lot of people that inspire me, honestly, but personally, I think probably my own mom is a big inspiration to me, just because like I know that she probably, like, it's like now I see, like, in retrospect, like a lot of stuff that she probably went through that I didn't really understand at the time. And like, it's like looking back on, you see things in a whole new light. And so she's been great, and she's been a big supporter. And then my dad's always been my biggest fan. I'm a total daddy's girl, so he's always worked hard so that we could have better than what he had, and he's given it his all for us. So yeah.
50%.
Yeah. And he was a hunter, obviously, right? Because
Nope.
you're a hunter. Oh, you
Nope.
picked that up on your own.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep. When I met my husband, pretty much. So, but my dad's a farmer, so they're not that far apart.
All right. Yeah, because my husband's all my three loves of my life, right? Ruh-roh. They've all been hunters and fishermen and stuff like that. This is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to teach the kids,
Yes.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, my kids are both, they like fishing, the girls, they like going out fishing, and not so much hunting, but their dad goes out hunting. They'll eat the venison though.
Yeah. Yep. That's pretty much all we eat.
I love venison. Oh my god.
Yep.
You know, people get like the look on Mama's face there, like,
I've never had it.
oh my god. Well, then you
I've
like
had bison because we live near a bison farm.
Okay.
You know, but venison, and I've tried. One of my customers at work brought me, was it wild boar?
Ooh, that's so good.
didn't no thinking, right? I tasting and I'm going, it's a little gamey. She's like, really? It's like, oh, okay, duh.
That whole thing gaming is only due to the butcher, right?
Mhm.
Because, you know, and it's a male animal because they have the scent glands. If you don't butcher it right, then the scent glands taint the meat. If you
Mhm.
have a good butcher, then that does not happen. Then there is no gaming, and I can make a steak. I can give you a porterhouse, and I can give you a steak, a deer steak, and I guarantee you will not know the difference.
So long as it's well done and not raw like you like it.
Oh, God. You
Don't
killed
ruin a steak like that.
I'm sorry. I don't want to stick my fork in it. I don't want it to move or go bad or whatever else.
My
Okay.
husband gets grossed out because I barely eat, like I literally barely brown my steaks.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, show it to a
Yeah.
light bulb, you know?
mhm.
Walk it
Yep.
out.
Yep. That's perfect.
I'm happy with that. Oh, I used to roast my kids out when they were little because I love raw hamburg. I take like little bites of raw hamburg, and I know how bad that is, and I don't do it anymore because I guess it's like
Steak tartare.
bugs and whatnot, Burmese or whatever. I don't know, but they used to yell.
Salt
At
and
me.
mouth disease.
I love that though. It's just like the blood. I like the blood.
Okay,
Thanks.
I'm not going anywhere close to you.
You have bangs for a reason. We're meat eaters.
Okay, now wait for the meat eaters. JoJo's. I like it rare too. No, okay, sorry. I like mine cooked. Sorry, but that's also the way I was brought up in our household. It was, cooked fully.
Yeah. So is he a good eater? Because that's always a thing too when they start on foods. It's like, what do they like and what they don't like.
Yeah. This girl can eat everything. Like, she doesn't turn her nose up at anything. I don't think we've found anything that she doesn't like at this point.
That was Jess. I mean, because her and her dad, they like they'd open up a can of sardines and eat it.
Ugh.
Dog legs and
Sorry.
stuff like that. And I was like, I'm gonna get sick in the corner. And Jackie, right? So I have Jessie and Jaxie, right? And Jessie, the one that was on, right? She will eat anything. She can sleep anywhere. She's like so different. The other one, she can't eat. She can't eat red meat. It makes her sick. She never ate. She never liked it. She just never liked it. And I would make her sit there. I would like, all right, you're not leaving the table until you eat, at least 3 bites of this. And then if I left the room for a minute, they'd be swapping things off their plates. This one would take the vegetables and put them all over here. And this one, Jackie would, she'd eat all the vegetables. Jessie would eat all the meat. I'm just like,
It's funny. As moms, we think that, well, when I'm growing up with it, they have to eat all this food. And the point is, so long as they're eating something,
right.
It's good. Yeah. Ooh, puppy in a bag. Sorry.
Oh.
Shiny
It's a circus around here.
Let's go.
I'm surprised
But so
that's all
long
you've
as
seen
your
so far.
Yeah. So long as your child eats something, you should be happy. And it's like, all veggies. It's not doesn't mean that's how they're gonna be for the rest of their life, or all meat. Oh, it's okay. You got a carnivore in the house, but it doesn't mean that's how they're gonna be for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Give them something to eat. If they, Ashley's going, no.
Well,
Not
that
sure what.
was
No.
well, that was the thing. The doctor would say the same thing. They're gonna eat like Jessie would eat tons, and then all of a sudden have a growth spurt, and then slack off the eating. So now it's worried. So then you learn. You have to learn all these things. So I didn't say.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing my husband was, he was worried the other day. He was asking me, like, because Izzy snacks a lot. Like, she'll snack a lot throughout the day. And then, like, she doesn't necessarily eat, like, huge meals when she does that. And I told him, I'm like, hey, she's eating. Like, we kind of just have to be thankful for that, because there's a lot of 2-year-olds who don't even want to eat half the time, half the time, unless it's something specific. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's eating, just go with it.
Yeah. And again, it depends on what she's snacking on. But I somehow doubt that you have Tootsie Rolls and chocolates in the house.
Yeah.
That's my house.
Jake, you've seen him munching on the apples. He eats constantly. That kid, he's huge. He's big for his his age group. He looks like, in daycare, he's like the monster kid.
Mhm.
And all the other ones look like little teeny babies crawling around, and like they're the same age.
Yeah, Izzy's the same way. She's always been in like the 99th percentile for height and weight. So I'm like, whatever. She's fine. She's healthy.
Yeah.
In the chat room, we have Ashley going, no, no, no to the raw meat. My sensitive tummy can hear you guys talk about it. She's pregnant. Congratulations, my darling. Yes, this will be her second. And she doesn't know whether it's a boy or a girl. She's going to wait till baby pops his head, his or her head out, and say, hello, Mom, I am.
Ashley, is that your first one?
This is, sorry?
Is it her first one?
No, her second. Her first one is a little girl, Mila Rain. That's the cotton candy lady.
Yeah.
This girl can make some mean cotton candy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I eat it. So,
She'll eat it in front of me.
Oh, yeah. Did that. I mean.
All the time. She's got good snacks. She eat in front of me all the time. I'm like, I got nothing. I'm chewing my pencil.
Okay, next, let's get back onto the questions again. What do you want to be your legacy for your daughter?
So I think about this a lot, and I know we joke about like saying that, like my daughter is gonna hate me when she reads this book, or she's gonna need therapy or something like that. But my big thing is I want her to know that like you're capable of doing anything. Like it doesn't matter what life throws at you. Like you can still do or be or whatever you want to do. And I think that's just such an important thing to instill in young girls, especially,
Yep. I agree with that. I mean, my dad always said, if someone else can do it, so can you.
Yeah.
He taught us to be very strong and independent. So I taught my girls to be strong and independent, and kicked them into play, and they're both doing wonderful today. So that's it's a hard thing to do, but it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ashley in the chat room commented, our doctor has told us just to look at what our kid eats over an average. Just keep putting things on her plate in little bits and don't stress about it. It's true. As long as they're eating. And if they're eating in between snacks in between meals, give them apples and celery and whatever they want. Like, here, fruit bowl. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Izzy eats a lot of like nuts and crackers, stuff like that. And I'm fine with that kind of stuff.
My niece.
Fruit. Oh my God, bananas and grapes.
Well, fruit breaks her out. She gets a horrible rash on her butt like anytime she eats fruit. It's literally like as soon as she poops, she breaks out in a horrible rash.
Yeah, my kids
She loves fruit.
Yeah, apple juice.
Yeah.
No, apple juice would make that butt go on fire.
Yep.
It's the acid in it. But yeah, my niece, my youngest niece, she'll take a green pepper, any kind of pepper, green, yellow, red, whatever, and she just eats like an apple, eats around it and gives back the core part. I was like, child, I love you.
I couldn't do that.
How old is she?
She just turned 6.
Wow.
Yep. And she's all my sister has always been healthy, not overly abundant, like whereas I would have donuts and cookies in my cupboards, she would have, healthy snacks like, granola. And her last munchkin, she's like, yeah, Mama loves her cotton candy. You would not believe it. But my niece, there was peppers on sale, so I got a big thing because I like peppers. I like them when they're cooked. I like them raw. But she
like
just
them.
took
I
one
don't
and she was like, she just ate it like an apple. It's like, cool, interesting.
Yeah, I can't do that, and I'm 33.
No, no.
I'll cut them up and put them with dip.
With what?
Or stuffed peppers. Oh yes, please. Thank you.
I can't. I love all that stuff. You know, I'm Italian. You know, sausage, peppers, onions. Oh my god, always so good. Loved it. But then I got to that point. I can't eat them because if I eat peppers one day, I'm eating them for a week. If you understand. What I'm like, every time
you know what's good. You know what's good for the certain. Okay, we're kind of sort of off the topic, but a lot of people have different kinds of indigestion, and some people have to have lemon. So the best thing for me when I have indigestion, excuse me, but forget all that Tums and Maalox and all that. Pickles. It's the vinegar and the pickle juice. It's the pickle juice that I could just take a sip of pickle juice, and in 2 seconds, all my indigestion is gone. So if you can handle pickles, and I mean, don't go out and buy white vinegar. It has to. For some reason, it has to be pickle juice. I mean, I guess you could, but I've always just.
I like the pickles.
Dill pickles, not gherkins. Dill pickles, and just take a sip of juice the next time you have an indigestion. Because our body has 2 types of acids that it reacts to. For me, lemons, that type of acid. Oh God, no, I'm sick as a dog, and it just takes me 2 minutes after drinking it. And it's like, oh, forget that stuff. But I can drink pickle juice, and my tummy is like going, hee-haw.
That's amazing. So I had horrible heartburn when I was pregnant, and I literally drank a gallon of milk every 2 days because I was like, that was the only thing that would help my heartburn.
Right.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known about pickle juice because drinking so much milk makes you gain a shit ton of weight. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Yes.
Ashley in the chat room, I have literally eaten half a watermelon while watching you guys. Hey, tell me.
Well, that's not a bad thing. They're mostly water. But there's a lot of sugar in watermelon. Like a lot of the good, healthy. You know, it's
carrots have the highest sugar content when it comes to vegetables.
No,
like
I know, but like all the things I do like that's fruit is high sugary content. Peaches and
Oh, I'm in love with Ashley's child. Every day my kid asks for her salad, which is cucumbers, tomatoes, feta cheese, and balsamic. That is her go-to. Don't get me wrong. Girl loves her chocolate too.
Yeah.
When Mila when this is over with, I'm coming over to your house and Mila and I are having salad.
It's all good until you add that god-awful cheese on it.
Okay, I'm sorry, but that's biased. That's Greek cheese and you're Italian. You just don't.
How do you put something in your mouth that smells like rotten feet by the time it gets?
It doesn't smell like rotten feet. Hello, not who puts Parmesan and Romano on her spaghetti, right?
Do it. It's impossible. You'd have to eat like this, and who wants to eat something that they have to eat like this? No, I want to have nice, good smelling.
What about Parmesan and Romano?
I like them, and
they smell too. My father used to call it stinky feet cheese.
No, because it's powdered, and you just put a little bit on your pasta. Put a little in your sauce while you're cooking it.
We're not gonna have this discussion.
Like normal cheese, American cheese, mozzarella cheese.
Can you believe we've only been doing this show together for since March? We kind of get along well.
That's awesome.
And we've never met in person. And when we do, God help the world.
Oh, I know.
Can I be there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Bob's probably going to leave the house.
Oh yes. It would have to be absolute woman time. And oh yeah.
There's going to be a lot of wine going on that night.
Yeah. We'll have to each bring a swear jar. No, we'd have some fun. All right, wait. We got cheese conversations going on.
Let's
Hold
on. Oh, we got mega feta.
The debate of the night has been cheese.
There you go.
I just want to throw that out there.
Okay. This was supposed to be about one thing, but as always, we always see the cash shiny thing. Let's go. So we're never. Yes, JoJo, you will be there as well. We're gonna have to hire out a venue and just say, everybody, okay, you've got 2 weeks to get your asses down here.
Right. Right.
First, I gotta get my passport.
Well, we can hook up with what's her name over in Jamaica.
Oh yeah, we're all going to Jamaica. Yes.
What happened?
Had a guest on the show here, and she holds. She lives in Jamaica, but she holds events for mostly women, and it's in Jamaica. So we're all partying
How
over.
cool.
Yeah, Sheila.
Oh yeah.
Sheila Pricebrook. Yeah, she has like she does like a sleep paralysis type thing and whatnot, but she is hilarious. You would love her, and she's like, yeah, everybody come to Jamaica. We're like, yep. What happens in Jamaica stays.
Heck yeah.
Jamaica, forget Vegas, baby. We're going to Jamaica. She's got all the rums going on, and she's like, "Tell us, okay, we're coming." And my daughter was like, "Mom," I said, "Yes, we said we'd bring the daughter. Just don't come out and party with me. I might get in trouble." Jill says, "Para party in Jamaica."
There you go.
No, that would be work.
Party.
We don't want to have work.
Yeah, no,
We're just over there.
No work.
No work.
Fun.
I'm working on people's nerves before then, but
Para party is an event that I used to throw with my old partner. My partner here that used to be
partner in crime
with me. Yeah, we used to have annual para parties because we do paranormal events and stuff. So we had this thing that people would get together and meet paranormal people without having to do the work, because we go to these events where you have to work all the time. You have to have your table, and you got to do the vending, and you got to do this and ghost hunts and whatnot. So we wanted to have just the party without the work. So we made this thing para party. We had it all themed. So we had everyone would wear costumes. We give prizes for the best costumes. It was a ball. We had a great time. And then the party continued. Like, we'd have a venue, we'd have a hall, would have food, all this stuff, DJs and dancing and whatnot. And then we rented like the second floor of a hotel, and everybody was there. And we had a PJ party all night.
That's cool.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So we did 3 or 4 of them, and then we got busy with the other events. Dancing and singing at the pool, yes, all that kind of stuff. Chris George, oh my God.
it's a doll. Pookie.
Yeah. Pookie. Yeah, you never know what he's going to do. Never. But,
Yeah, no. True Italian. Oh,
yeah. But talk about good dads. He's a good dad. He loves his kids more than anything, But speaking of, how many would you want to have?
How many more?
Yeah, just one.
One top.
Yeah. Can you imagine, all right, because I'm a big Italian family, right? I'm Finnish and Italian. I don't look Italian. I look Finnish. I look like my father, right? But I'm Finnish and Italian, or I always say a finished wop. But the Italian side, everyone, my mom's family, and everybody else had, tons of kids. It's like so many cousins. We rent a hall every year to get everybody together for Christmas, right? So it's huge. But I can't imagine having 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 kids. I'm like,
I'm sorry, 3 and I maxed out.
Yeah.
And my third one was a gift.
yeah.
I have a girlfriend that's one of 14.
Well, my husband's one of 13.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That I cannot imagine that.
No.
would drive my mother crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't make minivans that big.
I know. No.
Is the mom on drugs?
Get a little sports car. Tell Dad to take the school bus. I'm in. Chuck you, Farley. I'm going into a car all by myself.
I'd probably get a motorcycle or something. Like,
There you go.
all right, Darcy can't fit on this.
Yep, you done. Oh, there's Onyx got a nice new haircut.
Yeah. It's Onyx. Look, TV. There's Jaina.
Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. Yeah. Oh, I love that dog.
He went to the groomers today. Thank God he's all clean and shiny.
Aw.
Nice. My dog's in being a lump on the bed. But,
Yeah, mine's literally laying against my back right now.
aw, nice heating pad.
Do what?
Exactly.
A heating pad.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. We're very pet friendly around here. But we are we're coming down to the end. All right, so you do have plans though for more books, right?
Yes.
You got to. With the way you write, you got to. So this poor, again, Izzy will kill you. but it's okay.
Yeah.
I think Izzy will be able to sit there and go, see, Mom, I know what I understand it now. I
Yeah.
get it now when she gets to have her own babies.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully that's a long way away.
Oh, yeah. It gets here faster than you expect.
I know. Well, then you get to the point where it's like you pray that they don't come too soon. But then I was getting to the point where, I mean, Jesse, she's just 35.
like,
You know what I mean? Like,
oh, please.
It's time.
Yeah, but some people are made to be great aunts and uncles. So, hello, I'm okay with that too.
A grandchild. She's married. Her husband's older than she is, and he's got grown kids, so she won't give me any. I know, but
hey, I finally have my one grandchild. I never wanted to be a grandparent because I didn't think I was old enough to be a grandma, right? But I am now grandma officially. She'll be a year in August, and we're done. So, children of mine, if you're listening to this show, no, I don't need any more. I'm just Dad might want more, but I'm good.
Yeah, I think Jake is my one and done. I think because I don't know. I don't think she wants to go through it again. But you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Life has a way of surprising you sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
See, this is my best baby here. It just goes.
I know.
I don't have to change his diaper. I love my children, but
Yes.
Oh,
oh my God! Look at that fish.
Look at you. Is this still the puppy? Is that full grown?
Yeah. Yeah, she is. She was a rescue.
Oh, she's so cute.
She's got to have boxer in her. Look at that face.
She's a puggle. She's half pug, half beagle.
Oh my God! Oh, cute.
Puggle.
Like the names. I love the names that they give them.
I want to read I have a Papillon, so she's the butterfly dog,
Aww.
And I always wanted to breed her with a Pomeranian. I'm like, we can call them Pappy Poms.
Okay.
A groomer begged me not to. They said, that would be a grooming nightmare.
Yeah.
Because the Papillons have long fur and the Pomeranians have.
Oh look, I saw Lhasa Apso mixed with I saw Lhasa Apso mixed with oh God, I can't remember what the other one was, but it looked like an English sheepdog, a miniature English sheepdog.
Oh.
And then 2 minutes later, because Onyx had to go to the vets, and then 2 minutes later, I saw a full Lhasa Apso, and that's got a lot of hair. That has more hair than me. And my husband was like, "What the heck is that?" It's like, "'Cause it."
Oh, God.
Oh, right. JoJo's got a new foster, a Pomeranian Jack Russell Chihuahua. Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yeah. I love dogs. But my next one's going to be a fox. I'm going to have a fox.
Oh, yeah. It's going to have a red fox.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I need a fox. I need one. But
my husband wanted to get a raccoon.
I've got them in the backyard.
Yeah. Oh, we have plenty around our property, but he wanted one for a pet.
Yeah, they make great pets.
They do.
Yeah.
I had a friend who had one for many, many years, and it was humongous. Those suckers get humongous, and it used to sit on her neck like a fur collar when she would do dishes.
Oh,
it's like seriously.
That's so cute.
Yeah, my late husband had one, and it was named Farkle. But it would eat Oreos. It would sit and eat Oreos, and then if someone went to grab it, it would just like kind of slowly reach out, and as soon as your hand got to it, it'd grab it away from you. It's like my Oreos, But then the Farkle would give one to Mark, and like, here, you can have one, but in his mouth, and then it just touch his face. He'd touch his face really gently. It's so cute, But they do make good pets.
Yeah, I don't know. We compromised on the dog.
There you go.
Well, it's
Wait
good
a minute, do I hear a cat?
Oh yeah. Now she wants to get in.
Yeah. Right.
She's like, "Hello, I need to be on camera too. Hello."
Well, you got 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes left, so you got 3 minutes of fame. There's a cat. All right. All right. What? Okay. Wait a second. Let me put up your links here, real quick, here, because
where?
So the real mom.
Seriously, you need to get
this book. All right.
Get the book, read it.
Mom,
Get it as a gift for somebody who you know is going through stuff.
yes.
You know, if you know that somebody is going through this and they don't want it, they just kind of like don't want to hear it. This is a great book to get as a gift because it's not a medical doctor type. It's another mom going through it. Saying so somebody will look at this and go, oh, holy shit, I'm not alone in the world.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. It's a great thing that you do with people. It's just no doubt about it. So you should really get your book. Now, is it on Amazon?
It's on Amazon. It's on Barnes and Noble. It's sold anywhere where Ingram books are sold. So basically any bookstore. I mean, not that you can go to bookstores right now, but when you can, any bookstore. And then it's available through my website too at therealmomstuff.com.
Okay.
Cool. Perfect.
So that's it. Mommy's Got a Tramp stuff. Check out the other blogs and the other podcasts and try to get, if you're a new mom or a to-be mom or
No, mom.
No mom.
No mom. You go through this crap, join the groups. Just look her up. I mean, we did have a bunch of questions.
She's one of a kind. Okay, we're almost out of time. She's one of a kind. You'll not find any other Cassie Pigg on Facebook. So get your asses up there and find her.
That is so true. That is so true. Well, listen, thank you so much for putting up with us and our shiny balls tonight.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It was great. I knew it was going to be a fun interview. So I'm going to play our exit video, but hang for a couple minutes.
Okay.
Right? So we'll be back. Thank you guys for listening, for watching.
See you next week.
That's right. Bye. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of The Fox Den. We would love it if you would go over to our YouTube channel, which is The Fox Den, hosted by Gina Bankston. Please like and subscribe our channel and join us in the chat room there while we stream live every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you next week. Good night.